And with Diane's BlueHeartsAndButterflies.com. And this is a card that we made for our February class. And I got the idea watching Connie Stewart with Simply Simple Stamping. And it's a card, an interactive kind of card, where part of it actually folds through another part. And you open it up for the other part of the message there, and I thought it was really cute, so I wanted to share it with the ladies that came to the class for this. Now, I used a few retired products and retired things for this. One of the ones that's not is actually from the Snail Mail, the resin hearts. I really loved those and how they went with this paper that I had left over from another time. So the one that I used was the Sealed with Love and the Love Notes. These are retired products, but I had them in my stash. And I wanted to have something kind of with this arrow that goes through, and this die set had some arrows, and this had a really nice kind of heart. I also, actually this heart I think is the one that I used, and this Happy Valentine's Day I probably did use from the Meant to Be stamp set that's actually in the main catalog, which is on page 69. So I had used that striped heart and this Happy Valentine's Day on here. So it's not all retired. It was primarily these dies from this set. And then the circles, I did use the punches that I had, which was a 2.5, 2 1/4, and 2-inch punch. But you could use the circles, the layering circles dies that you want for this. You would just find 3 that would fit here so that you could still open this and get that through. So I'm going to give you the sizes that I used for the punches, but you could choose the one that is closest to that out of the layering circles. So let me move these things off to the side. I did use some of the stamps from this set also for some of the stuff on the inside for that. So just a moment, I did forget to grab that. So it's the Happy Valentine's Day and the striped heart. And you could always use this instead of the other heart one that I used, and some of these for the inside. And so let me get to the pieces that I used for this. So I started with a piece of thick white cardstock. You could use a darker cardstock and other papers as you want, but this is a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of thick cardstock. This one you're actually going to score it in landscape at 2 1/4 and 6 5/8, and that creates it so that you can fold it into more of a tri-fold card. You would also have a piece for this fold down front. This piece of Designer Series paper is 4 1/8 by 2 1/8, and then the other piece that goes on the bottom portion here is actually 4 1/8 by 4 1/8 that creates a square. You would also need your 2 1/2-inch circle punch for a white, or this could be what another coordinating color, but I used white cardstock. This is the Real Red, and I punched this with the 2 1/4 inch punch, and then I did another 1 inch not 2-inch circle from white cardstock, which is where I stamp my sentiment and everything. And then I had one of those arrows. You could use other embellishments and stuff. I also had a piece of ribbon that matched the paper. I don't have the measurement, and it's on the other side. So it's probably at least 12, 13, 14 inches. It's enough to wrap around this front part and tie a knot. And so let me show you kind of the way that I put this together. With this. So with this, once you have your cardstock here, this is where I took the 2.5-inch circle punch, and I actually took and pushed it in and lined it up so that fits halfway in across that score line. Kind of some people mark theirs, and I just haven't on mine. So I eyeballed the hole to see where that centered over that score line. And then I punched out that 2.5-inch circle. Then I took and lined up this piece of designer series paper, and again, with it showing through this side, that's when I used the 2.5-inch again, and I cut the circle out of that again so that it would line up. So this piece we will actually adhere. Get that rolling again. And the reason I suggest that you put the cut this hole, I mean, you could put this on the front and then punch the hole, but you're going to want to remember to put glue in other areas other than where it's going to be punched out, because if you punch this out after and there's no glue under here, it'll keep flipping up. It's just kind of a thing that I've learned over the years. So I would just line this back up with that hole and kind of creating that border again like I had, and glue that down. Then this piece is where you're going to adhere the bottom part. If it is a directional paper, you want to make sure that you lay it on here the right way. It is square, so you can turn it. And this one doesn't matter for any hole or anything, because we're actually going to just be gluing something on top of it. So this piece just goes directly on there, and then this piece folds over. And so once you've got your sentiment and everything stamped on this smaller circle, then you're going to just adhere these circles together. Making sure to pull your glue in. And then I just used inks. This particular paper was Real Red, White, and Flirty Flamingo. And so that's what the colors that I used on here. And then instead of putting the glue again on the larger circle, you're going to want to put it on the smaller one so that you don't have glue that is sticking out around the edges that you have to then kind of remove. And then I just line these up with kind of a similar border around them. Now this one, you're only going to be gluing down the bottom portion, and you want to make sure that this is going to be straight. So I kind of line it up where it should go, and then kind of put my finger there so that I know that it needs to go from there across. You just might double check yourself. It looks good. So then adhere some more, because this is the one that you're going to want to be able to push up and through. So any glue adhesive that's sticking over, definitely pull that back in. And then it's just a matter of putting this all the way in where that circle cutout is and gluing that down. And then it just comes right back through here. I think Connie Stewart called it a circle pop-up because it kind of pops up above here. But with the way that we folded it, this piece still fits inside of the regular sized envelope, the medium sized envelope, so that you can mail that. Then I took the ribbon, and you might want to just adhere a little bit of glue, a glue dot or something, just kind of to a little bit of the middle part of this ribbon. Glue dot might work a little bit better. And then kind of center that where you'd like it to be in the middle of this area. And then I just brought this in here and just tied a knot. Sometimes it feels like you need more than two hands to be able to do these things. And today's one of those days. So basically really want to get it to close, and you want to pull it this way so that it kind of locks in place, using your finger to hold that place. This particular ribbon is giving me fits today. And then you just pull them tight. If you wanted to, you could always wrap this around and glue it underneath or something if you really wanted to, but I just trying to do where the knot is tied in it. And then cut those ends off as you want. Now, to adhere the little arrow, I just use some multi-purpose glue. Some people will take and use their silicone craft sheet underneath this and a sponge to be able to kind of get the glue everywhere. And of course, I'm going to have grabbed one that doesn't have any glue in it. Let me grab another one real quick. That's how it goes sometimes when you're making these videos, is you just end up having things not working like they're supposed to. So this one I just put some strategic dots of glue, and then I wanted to make sure that this didn't interfere with that fold, and then I just kind of push that down to let it dry. These little resin dots are the ones that let me use. Got some others out here just to add some interest on the front of the card. On my example piece, I only used 3, but I think I'm going to use 5 on this one. I kind of cut these apart and hand them out at the classes so that people can have a little piece. And then this one I'm going to put over here, and this one I think I'm going to put it up here. So you just add some cute little embellishments there. And so that is creating this cute little card. And you could always stamp the inside with some sentiments and hearts and other things. And this just would be a really cute card for any occasion. You could use any colors. If you are going to be using a solid color for your base on the inside, you'll probably want to put a lighter cardstock, such as white or vanilla. And this would also be the same as the designer series paper here, which is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. And so you probably want to cut that out so it would go there. So if you have any questions, you could always send me a comment or put a comment in the below the video. Also, if you wish to, you could subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification icon, and it would let you know the next time that I upload a video to my channel. Also, if you would, check out the blog that I have. It is www.dianesblueheartsandbutterflies.com. I do have all of the measurements for the cards and some other cards that we made at the class, if you'd like to check out the videos for those as well. I appreciate your time and sharing with me.